Hola y bienvenidos a Amores Patos. Hi, welcome to Amores Patos. I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm your other host, Faby. This is the podcast where two best friends get together and talk about
Duck facts,
duck lore,
duck babysitting,
and DuckTales.
Recently listening to a Disney podcast. I'm not going to mention their name because I'm going to mock them. And I don't want to be super mean.
Yeah.
And call them out entirely.
Uh-huh.
To set the scene, I was putting together my Disney Ducks Eat-A-Bag. Eat-A-Bag?
I think it's Eat-A-Bag.
Is that how it's pronounced? I-T-A? Eat-A? Yeah, bag. I'm very proud of it. I was putting it together. And this Disney podcast talks about the various Disney park attractions. And they had one for Donald's boat in Toontown. I'm like, oh, perfect. I'll listen to this while I'm putting together my Eat-A-Bag.
Yeah.
And I'm listening. I'm like, I'm listening, having a good time. And they're getting into, like, Donald Duck and the Nephews. And then they bring up, one of the hosts asks who the Nephews' parents are. And the host who's explaining, Donald and the Nephews, starts talking about Donald's brother that they discovered in their research.
What?
Who is the father of Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Okay.
And I had to stop, put the very meticulous construction of my Eat-A-Bag.
Yes.
To try to comprehend what this person was saying.
Yeah, what?
So this host, who did some sort of research, he talked about looking up a Donald Duck family tree. Somehow, in the family tree, if you've seen it, listeners, the tree, I think most of them, obviously Huey, Dewey, and Louie are on it. And even if Della Duck is on it, the branch that branches off to Huey, Dewey, and Louie's father is, like, jokingly, the name and the photo are always covered.
Yeah.
Like, there'll be a bird on a branch that's covering the name and the face.
Yeah, like, you'll never see it. Yeah.
And so this host talks about the family tree they found. And talks about how the brother's name and face are covered. And I'm like,
no.
So you looked at that and not to the one that indicates she's Donald Duck's sister who has a name and a face? Right there. And
does this person know how to read a family tree?
Okay, I'm going to Google the Donald Duck family tree right now and then see what options it gives me. But also the episode of this podcast I checked while I was in disbelief, came out a year ago, so they had no excuse.
Yeah. Not
to do a Google search and know that Della Duck exists in animation now.
Yeah. That's so funny. I'm looking at one too.
Yes, I'm looking at Donald Duck family tree, and here we go. The very first one we get is the Don Rosa one, which is the most meticulous. And it clearly branches from Donald to Della.
Yeah.
Because
I understand.
Yeah, all the pictures look the same. So my mind was, let me just say, sufficiently boggled when this host starts talking about Donald Duck's supposed brother, who is the parent of Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and I'm like, Sir,
no, that's not how you read.
Sir.
Let's look it up. Literally, if you Google, who is Huey, Dewey, and Louie's parents, you know how Google does, the highlighted answer?
Yeah.
It's Della Duck.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And this podcast was very meticulously researched.
Yeah.
So while I was listening to this in absolute disbelief, I was like, I can't trust anything you say now.
Yeah.
A Google search will, as Faby demonstrated.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just gonna namelessly call out this Disney podcast. So today we're recapping season 3, episode 17 of DuckTales. The first adventure. Which is why I brought up my riveting Donald Duck does not have a secret brother. What name shall we give this brother? This is the new F.O.W.L.
Oh, it's a funny name.
It has to start with a D.
It has to. I forgot all names that start with D all of a sudden.
Donald, Della, and... Oh no, we need a funny name.
Dubert.
What?
Dubert.
Dubert?
Dubert.
Donald, Dubert, and Della. Fucking Dubert Duck. Fucking bottom of the pile. Absolute... What's the word? For a fucking deadbeat dad, Dubert. Dubert. Fuck. We need to get into this episode. What is this? This is nonsense. The story for this episode is by Frank Angunis, Madison Bateman, Colleen Evanson, Megan Gonzalez, Christian Magelhays, Ben Simon, and Bob Snow. It was written by Christian Magelhays. The storyboards are by Vince Aparo, Christian Gish, Victoria Harris, and Aaron Austin. It's a new name.
Ooh.
And it was directed by Tanner Johnson and Vince Aparo. Now for our watches. Ooh. Matilda McDuck watch. Almost. I'm so glad we didn't do a Hortense McDuck watch, even though technically her picture's in the first episode.
Yeah, but...
Whatever. Matilda McDuck watch will be complete soon.
Yes.
And I can't believe this one's paying off. Finally. And our Agent Gasolini watch.
Well, you got a nice little place here. Only hotel, I'm never staying inside.
Sadly.
No, he could have been an agent. Could have been a shush agent.
Wait, didn't Frank recently, answer a question that there's going to be a lot of pilots in the Tailspin episode?
Fuck! Right! I have hope! The Tailspin episode is my last fucking hope.
And if he doesn't show up, we're not summarizing that episode.
No. Fuck Kid Cloud Kicker. Molly Cunningham. Sorry, Tailspin.
You could have had it. You just had to bring one thing with you.
One thing. All I have to do is show me 2 seconds of Benzino Gasolini flying a fucking plane.
But no.
Thin fucking ice, DuckTales. And now, without further ado, it is time for the game show within our podcast. It is now time for Duck or False. Alright, Faby. Duck or false? The land of Trala is a money-free paradise.
Oh. I don't know this one at all, so, I'm gonna have to say false?
It's duck. It's true.
Oh, damn.
I totally thought you would know this one. I'm
like,
so
the
glad.
name is very familiar, but I cannot remember anything.
So, Trala is mentioned very briefly later in this episode. And it's a land that Carl Barks created for his 1954 comic, Uncle Scrooge comic, Trala, in which Scrooge gets so stressed out by the daily rigors of being a multi-billion gajillionaire
Well,
and everyone asks him
so
for his money.
rough for Scrooge.
And he has it so tough, you guys. He has it so tough being the richest person.
Are so heavy.
It's hard to wear his coat. His coat is so heavy with gold.
Stupid.
But so he develops like a nervous disorder or something, and so he looks for the mystical land of Trala, which has no money. They've never developed currency, like or a need for it, and they basically introduce currency through bottle caps because he keeps the nerve tonic he's taking has bottle caps on it, and then long story short, the people of Tralala start using bottle caps as currency, and he kind of screws over their civilization.
Thanks, Scrooge.
Yeah. And that plot is mimicked, not sort of beat for beat, it's Fenton's fault in the DuckTales 1987, Season 3, Episode 1, or Episode 76 of 100, The Land of Tralala. It follows the comic plot very closely, except that, like I said, Fenton is a prominent character because this is after he's been introduced. Yeah. And it's more his fault.
Okay.
that this civilization is screwed over.
Oh no.
And develops capitalism.
Yeah.
Oh, no. We don't need pieces of paper. Here in Tralala, we are happy to help one another.
Paradise. A place with no money doesn't make sense. Or dollars, for that matter.
But no, the name was familiar, but brain empty. No thoughts.
No, I'm surprised. I'm glad I got you. Point for me. I'm not keeping score of this. But
so, we start this episode with a really lovely spy music sting. So we're gonna have like a lot of fun music throughout the whole episode. Again, Dominic Lewis, chef's kiss.
Yes, Dominic Lewis, what's the term? The composer? What's his title?
Is he the composer?
Yeah, he's the main composer.
Yeah.
He has an official title that I'm forgetting. We've mentioned him before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to go with our spy sting, we see it is the 1960s. Mm-hmm. And we are outside I assume, Shush headquarters in London.
Mm-hmm. It's fun because we get like the classic like typing kind of captions that tells us where we are. Mm-hmm. And we go inside. We get a shot of, Agent 22 bringing in Black Heron, and Black Heron is yelling about how like she's done nothing to deserve, being imprisoned, because she will be imprisoned. And Beakley's like, nothing, like, you were literally trying to blow up Mount Everest. And Heron gets like offended. She's like, no, I wasn't exploding it. I was carving my face into it. It would have
very
been
different.
Yeah,
very different. And so, I think this might be one of my favorite episodes we've had so far. Mm-hmm. Of the season. Because the whole thing is set in the past.
Yeah. The
whole episode. So we started off here in the 60s and we see Shush. Mm-hmm. And, this is Shush at, I assume, the height of its... I don't know, if power...
Yeah, like, Yeah, I would just say, like, at its peak of, like... everything that it was doing, as an organization. Because we see there's guards at the door. This base is full of Shush agents. Yeah, they're like,
and they all have like in uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's desks. It's like a secret spy, secret agent headquarters. Mm-hmm. And this is set. This is even though it's the 60s. This is set before the events of the confidential case files of Agent 22. Because in that episode, F.O.W.L already exists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here, as we'll see, it comes into being.
Yes.
So we have Black Heron cackling her way, being taken away, and we get so they leave, and we get this shot of a conference room, And inside that conference room, a nerd is giving a speech.
We see it's a young Bradford Buzzard.
Yeah.
Who was a former agent of Shush. Mm-hmm. Which makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And he's here looking like a fucking beetle.
Yeah, he really has the, like, bowl cut, basically.
It's the hair. It's like this swoopy.
Yeah.
He's gonna go bald. Or mostly bald. Sorry, dude.
So he's explained to Ludwig, because we see Ludwig, who's not paying attention to him at all.
He's playing with the Rubik's Cube, which wasn't technically invented yet.
Yeah, but you know.
It's fine.
It's a spy gadget.
Sure.
But no, so he's giving this, like, meeting how he's explained to Ludwig that, like, all of these, like, shush escapades, as he calls them, is costing them a lot of money. Because, you know, when something really bad and chaotic happens, they react with more chaos. And so they kind of just waste a lot of money.
Yeah, that Shush is spending tons of money and not on top of, like, the collateral damage that they're causing. Mm-hmm. It's, big waste of money and just adding to the chaos that the villainy they're fighting already creates.
Yeah, and so Bradford suggests, like, a really simple solution that, you know, so instead of waiting for more villains to show up and, you know, destroy the world, why don't they take over the world? Yeah,
so why don't we become secret tyrannical dictators?
Yeah, basically.
And control everything so that villainy can't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, Ludwig finally, like, kind of wakes up. And he's like, what do you mean we're going to become villains? Like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you mean you want us, you want us to become the bad guys? Mm-hmm. And, Bradford is giving a slideshow presentation, and he goes to a slide, like, no, like, we would just, take over, like, the whole world and impose our will on everyone, and, you know, not let evil happen in the first place. And his slides, like, form a fist.
Yeah. Because he's like, you know, it's gonna, like, the sum of it is that we rule the world from the shadows.
Yes.
We gonna go bad like those terrible villains?
Of course not, sir. We simply defeat all who oppose us, rein in any unpredictable factors, and efficiently run the world from the shadows with an iron fist. Yes?
And I love the fact that he's a former Shush agent. Mm-hmm. Like, 'cause he is seeing this chaos firsthand from the good guys' side.
Yeah.
Like, the good guys, in fighting the bad guys, are just adding to the chaos. They're spending tons of money. Mm-hmm. And what he sees it as is, like, a zero-sum game, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he's seeing it as, we're just creating chaos.
Yeah.
There's like, it'll just keep happening back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Like, no one's actually trying, like, we're not trying to solve it. We're just trying to contain that chaos, but we're
reacting to the chaos with more chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like I said, with Bradford just being my favorite villain. It's interesting. Of course, Glomgold's number one.
Always.
But I think the most interesting villain. But Ludwig is like... He laughs, but he's like, no, we're not fucking doing that. And then apparently... Bradford only got his job because of nepotism. Yeah. Is it nepotism was a favor to Bradford's grandmother?
Yeah.
Who the fuck was she?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know who the fuck Bradford's grandmother was now. Was she an agent?
Was she just Ludwig's neighbor who's very... an old lady who's cool?
And she's like, oh, Ludwig, can you hire my grandson to your super covert spy organization? Of course.
Of course.
I can't do an Austrian accent.
Me either. I'm not gonna try.
God, no. I don't know if I said it's really nice to see Ludwig again.
Yeah.
I've missed him. I forgot who voices him. It's the guy who does the voice of Ludwig now.
Oh, I don't know. I'm so bad.
Corey Burton. I keep thinking Paul Frees, who's the original voice, and I'm like, he's dead. Oh. He's not currently the voice. He died like 40-something, a while ago.
Yeah.
I think he's also the voice of the ghost host in the Haunted Mansion, but don't quote me on that. I think it is. But he was the voice.
Back.
I know, so I'm bringing up Disneyland. But Corey Burton has been the voice of Ludwig for a good while. Mm-hmm. Maybe 30-ish years.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, always really cool to see Ludwig. And he's playing with the Rubik's Cube, like we said. And it's, I mean, I guess it does parallel Bradford putting the Rubik's Cube together perfectly in Double Duck, You Only Crash Twice.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's similar, like, here Ludwig is the director, he's in the position of power. And in that episode, obviously, it's Bradford who is the head of F.O.W.L.
And so he's not rude to Bradford, but kind of, he just kind of tells Bradford to, like, get over it. Like,
yeah, he brushes Bradford off, especially because Bradford is an accountant.
Yes.
Like, he's an accountant for Shush. He's not an agent or anything. Mm-hmm. And so Ludwig pushes him out of the conference room. And you see Bradford has little note cards that he's been reading off of. Yeah. And Ludwig, like, slaps him on the back. Not, like, in a mean way, but it does make him drop all of his note cards.
Yeah. It just makes Bradford look really, like, pathetic.
Yeah.
It's not bad guy stuff, you short-sighted buffoon. It's...
All right. Shush is a world-saving organization, not a world-stealing one.
I guess he didn't remember this conversation when F.O.W.L becomes a thing.
Because I don't think he was paying attention through most of it.
That's true, he wasn't. He was focused on his Rubik's Cube.
Yeah. So it's all on Ludwig. It
is on Ludwig. He could have known who the traitor was the whole time.
It's the guy in the bowl cut.
Yes.
But alas.
The fucking dweeb.
And yeah. He, like, tells him that, what the hell does this nerd-ass know about world domination? And Bradford is picking up his card is, like, not enough, like, on his own.
Yeah, and we see that, like, across the hall, 22, Beakley is... she's stepping into an elevator with Heron to take her to, like, the holding cells, and she and Bradford make eye contact.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, smash cut, Bradford is pitching the same thing to Heron in her cell.
We simply run the world from the shadows with an iron fist.
And you call this?
OWL, the Organization for World Larceny.
I love their dynamic here because it's just so funny and, like, she's so chaotic and he's so not. Because he's explaining this, that he wants to run the world from, like, the shadows, like, with an iron fist. And she asks about the name, like, what are you going to call it? And he's like, OWL, Organization for World Larceny. And she's like,
Yeah, the name is the most important thing to her.
Yeah.
And he has it written on a little note card. And she takes it and writes the F. Because, what's the F? What's fucking F stand for?
Fiendish.
Fiendish, yes. It sounds better.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
She says that it adds some super villainous sizzle. And I just love her. She lives for the drama.
Yeah, and I like, because Bradford works for Shush, but he has no compunctions about going to this insane, very clearly a criminal, and being like, hey, help, let's team up. Let's team up because I want, I need your expertise.
Yeah.
To create this organization, to, like, create it from, like, out from, like, underneath Shush. To take over Shush.
Yeah, he's like maybe make a little profit in there. But yeah. And she's like, sure, but, like, the name kind of sucks.
Yeah. And then she only agrees to join him if he agrees to change the name.
They form a beautiful fiendship.
Yes. So this did surprise me that she helped him found F.O.W.L.
Yeah.
I think we'll talk about it a bit later how this relationship does change, because they're on more equal footing here. She's constantly putting him off his guard. Like, she takes his pen to, like, write on the note card. He needs her help to do this. And just interesting to see how the relationship changes. We see 30 years from now, and then 20 years from then, like, as we see in the show currently.
Yeah. It's very different.
Yeah.
Because, like, here, he's very much coming to her, like, basically begging her for her expertise and everything. And she holds a lot of, like, the power, and she can readily mock him without, like, consequences, and we see that changes.
Yeah. And so she takes the pen and she breaks herself out. She picks the lock. Yeah, he lets her escape, obviously. Yeah. And that he tells her he'll contact her later, and he pulls the fire alarm. And like playing like, oh, you know, a prisoner escaped. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is the formation, the very, very origins of F.O.W.L, which are very fun.
And as he like runs away, you know, alarming people, he like drops the little note card, and on the floor we see the F.O.W.L fiendish organization.
Yeah.
For world larceny.
Yes. Yeah, from the beginning I was really interested in Bradford and Heron's chemistry. Do you think they had sex?
Like hate sex. Like, you know.
Yes.
You know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes. Not anymore in the present.
No.
Not anymore. But I think for these 30 years, I think so. They had something going on.
And if they didn't, Bradford's a fucking fool, because Heron, she's great.
I had to bring it up.
Yeah. Is it the tension?
Yes.
Yeah. There's like a underlying tension.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
On an unrelated note, we have a shirt in our store that is that original logo on the note card. I had to recreate it from scratch. So check it out.
Go look at Anna's hard work.
Please do. As we said, this whole episode is set in the past. And except now, instead of the 1960s, we have jumped forward to the early 1990s.
And we go to the money bin. And Scrooge is... So we have Scrooge and Duckworth, who's alive.
A living Duckworth. Voiced by David Kaye, doing a very good job.
He still has that, like, bitchiness to him that I love.
Completely. Like, a lot of this episode had the feeling of a classic 1980s DuckTales episode.
It did, honestly,
right?
Yeah.
And I think, like, a part of that is having Duckworth around.
But Scrooge has more of that, like, grumpiness that we get.
Yes. Yeah, he's much more of the business-minded character that he is in the 1980 series. In 1987, he's, like, half of his adventures are... like a business thing. Like, oh, my ranch in Wyoming, there's my diamond mines, you know. It was always very much like him at the end of the day making a deal to get money out of whatever it is he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, a better example. The Curse of Castle McDuck, he finds out that his family's ancestral home was built on a druid circle, like a druid... And at the end of the day, he's like, all right, druids, you guys can keep using the castle for your druid rituals, but during the day, we're going to turn it into like a druid Scottish haunt, into a tourist trap to make a profit off of it during the day.
Yeah, he was very like, I guess it's the typical, like, if you ask like just someone who Scrooge McDuck is, it's very like money oriented, very like. Maybe I'll learn a lesson about family, but it's about the money first.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so that's definitely the vibe I got from this Scrooge, because he walks in, he's talking into two of those big brick cell phones.
Yeah.
And
he's telling them both, I guess, that he, like, expects, like, a certain report by the end of the day, because time is money, and he doesn't have enough of either.
Yes. And I love, the continuity. He has these two cell phones. He stacks them under his hat.
Yeah.
God, I wish 1980 Scrooge could have had these big brick cell phones. Yeah. Were they not a thing yet? I mean, in the late 1980s?
I don't know. To be, like, I'm so bad at keeping track of when, like, certain technologies were a thing.
Yeah. I mean, this is early 90s.
Yeah.
I can't think of any significant times anyone uses a cell phone, like something like this in 1980s DuckTales. maybe one like yuppie businessman guy we see. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
1980 Scrooge would have been so much funnier if he had one of these big brick cell phones.
But alas.
No, he has like a fucking candlestick telephone in his office. I remember that.
But here I love that Duckworth like lifts up his top hat so he can stack the phones.
Yes, yeah. And we see, Duckworth is following him around with, like, a notepad and with a clipboard and pen. Like, he is the one in charge of Scrooge's schedule. He opens doors for him. Very much his butler.
Yeah.
And, like, comparing, obviously, Beakley is not that.
No.
And how in the first episode of DuckTales, he's, like, telling Beakley to rearrange his schedule and do all that.
Yeah.
Like, probably just out of habit. From having Duckworth do it for so long, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Yeah, because Duckworth is saying how, like, Scrooge has his daily swim, like, he has to, count his money, then he has, like, a trip to the mystical Trala to visit their bottle cap plants.
Yeah, that's So I'm assuming, like, Scrooge didn't fuck over this civilization in this universe by introducing currency. Maybe he did. Maybe that's why they have to produce bottle caps there.
Yeah.
Because that's their currency. Or maybe they just make bottle caps for the whole world.
Yeah, maybe they're the bottle cap central.
Yeah.
And he also has to do like a meet and greet with some vampire.
Yes. The Vampire Council or something.
Yeah.
Love that.
And
he has to check on his check on the magical defenses of Falcon Island, which is where the Bombies kept. So that's a fun little reference.
Yeah. And Scrooge is like, "Oh, it's a pretty light day." I'm like, "You're flying everywhere," because distance and time isn't a thing in DuckTales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as he and Duckworth get into the elevator, Duckworth mentions that his sister Hortense came and dropped something off for him.
And I love how, like, Duckworth is very much bearing the lead of what this thing is. Because Scrooge starts complaining that, like, did he forget his own birthday again? Did he get another, like, shitty, scratchy sweater from his sister? No.
No, because we see they arrived in his office, and as a vase shatters, and it's Donald and Della that his sister dropped off.
And we see Della, like, jumping around, because I think I mentioned it in, what was the goddamn episode called?
Last Christmas?
No, Money Bin. Impossible, yes. That she was, like, going around, like, testing things, and here she's, like, going around being like, is this dangerous? Like, is this cool? And she, like, is breaking everything.
Yeah, she jumps on the globe, and the earth globe, the earth part of the globe, like, the globe pops out of, the thing holding it.
Yeah.
The base, and, like, spins across the room with her on it. We see Donald has a acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And we see in Last Christmas he advanced to a electric guitar.
Yeah.
He has an acoustic that he's playing, and he knocks the fake
pedestal with a dime on it.
The number one dime. I forgot the name of the dime for a second.
Can you turn in your Scrooge McDuck PhD in, please?
I'm sorry, I'm a failure. Revoked my Scrooge McDuck fan club membership.
You were the president. We need to look for another one.
And like, I love the continuity that this still isn't the actual number one dime. Because Scrooge just kind of pockets it.
Yeah.
Just to keep Donald from keeping it.
Yeah, because Donald is like, oh, it's just a dime. Then he goes to like use it as a guitar pick, and Scrooge is just like, yoinks that away. Yeah.
And puts it in his pocket as he's reading the note Hortense left for him.
Yes.
And I'll put the quote in, because it's basically word for word the note that was left for Donald in the comic strip Donald's Nephews, where Huey, Dewey, and Louie were officially introduced to the world. Mm-hmm. This comic debuted in Al Taliaferro's 1937 comic strip, which preceded the Nephews' theatrical release in 1938 in the short Donald's Nephews, which is nothing like the comic strip. But in the comic strip, Della leaves a note for Donald, and Scrooge basically reads it verbatim.
Dear Scrooge, I am sending your angel niece and nephew, Della and Donald, to stay with you while their father is in hospital. A giant firecracker exploded under his chair. The little darlings are so playful. I hope you enjoy them. Your sister Hortense.
She left Donald and Della with him while their dad is in the hospital because they lit a firecracker under his chair.
Oh, no.
And that's what happened to Huey, Dewey, and Louie's dad in the comic.
Yeah.
The only time their dad is ever mentioned.
Yeah, the only time he ever, like, mattered.
Yeah.
You know, Hortense here is trying to be like, yeah, they're such beautiful, nice, calm children. Take care of them.
Take care of them. Bye. And of course, we don't see Hortense in this episode.
No.
I really hope we do. Just because I really want to see Hortense in animation. Because obviously in next episode, we are getting Matilda, which is fantastic, amazing, 10 out of 10. I really want to know what happened to Hortense and Quackmore, because obviously, they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead.
Like, they died at some point.
Yes. Somewhere
and considering,
between here and the last time we saw the children.
Yeah, I mean, I think between here and the events of Last Christmas, when Donald and Della are living with Scrooge.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume Hortense and Quackmore died somewhere in between that. And considering how Scrooge's family seems impervious to death, that seems important.
Happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, because Hortense and Quackmore, obviously, we've seen their photo. We've seen their photos in the very first episode. And we also see a photo of them in Legend of the Three Caballeros in the first episode. But yeah, the characters themselves have never appeared in animation, similar to Matilda. So I would obviously like to see Hortense as well. So I'm glad we put all our eggs in one basket with Matilda, because that one came through.
We were right. No, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be a heartbreaking episode or scene.
It would.
But still, I would like to see it, please.
I still want to see it. I want to know what happened to them.
Yeah. But no, here, Scrooge has to babysit.
Yeah. So we have here, this is still grunge Donald.
Yeah. I love him. He's so cute.
With his Nirvana shirt. I love his long bangs. They're fantastic. And Della looking like she did in Last Christmas as well.
She sits on the globe and completely breaks it.
Yeah, breaks it in half. I mean, I think the show's really good at whenever they show us different characters at different points in time. The difference is very clear.
Yeah.
Like, this Scrooge is very different from 1960s spy Scrooge. Like, very different. And this Scrooge is very different from the current Scrooge.
Yeah.
And same with Donald and Della are very different here than even they were in Last Christmas, where they definitely seem to be older.
Yeah, and they've been through it. Their parents died.
Yeah, their parents are probably dead.
Yeah.
And they're adventures by that point.
Yeah.
Like they know how to fight a giant monster. So, Della is still voiced by Paget Brewster, though Donald here is no longer voiced by Russi Taylor, young Donald.
Yeah.
He is voiced in this episode by Cristina Valenzuela.
Ooh.
And she does a very, very good job.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah, like I think I might not have noticed even. I mean, I would have noticed. That's a lie.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good. Her portrayal of the like buckle voice, the Huey, Dewey, and Louie, the classic voice.
Yeah.
Valenzuela she's a voice actress, singer, voice director, and a TV host.
Oh.
Long list of accomplishments. But obviously, yes, Russi Taylor is not doing the voice of young Donald because she passed away in 2019. I mean, Russi Taylor was the voice of Minnie Mouse, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Webby, in the original DuckTales.
A chance to see real dinosaurs, and we're stuck here. Let's go anyway. But Uncle Scrooge said, he'll change his mind once we're there. Let's hide in here.
Since 1986,
Wow.
she's voice acted for Disney, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, I remember being so upset when I learned that she passed away.
I think, that was a year where, like, I mean, years have been upsetting, but, like, that, I felt like that was, like, a, like, another straw to add to just how shitty everything was. Because it's, like decades of kids growing up hearing her voice, like, in these characters that you love, and it's, like, it was so nice to hear her come back as young Donald, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Just hearing her come back. Doing the classic Huey, Dewey, and Louie, the voice for young Donald was so perfect. And I mean, she's been our Minnie Mouse our whole lives. Yeah. She's done the voice in 1986. She married the voice of Mickey Mouse.
That's so beautiful.
And that is some, like, Disney bullshit right there. She married him, I think 91. But Wayne Allwine, he was the voice of Mickey Mouse until 2009. And obviously they were both Disney legends. Her last significant voice acting role was in the Mickey Mouse shorts, in the short Carried Away, which is... I'm gonna put it here so we can all get sad about it. Almost the entire episode is her singing. I think, which is, such a really nice last episode for her to have, for a last big role for her to have been in. But like Mickey and the Three Musketeers, which is one of our favorites, that was her.
Yeah. Besides, the perfect guy isn't gonna just walk through the door, and even if he does, how are you gonna know he's the one?
Oh, I'll know. Just imagine, he'll stride into the room. A light will glow from him. I'll hear music. He'll bring me flowers. He'll sweep me off my feet. And I'll know he's the one when he makes me laugh.
And
I feel like that movie is one of those movies that's, like, the basis of my humor. Comes from, like, jokes from that movie.
Yeah, it's watching Mickey's Three Musketeers repeatedly as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, her passing away was, I don't know, it was very sad. I think a pretty significant blow considering how long she'd done the voice.
Yeah.
So the new voice of Minnie in the current shorts, and I'm not sure if beyond the shorts, but in the current Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse is now, and probably in the younger the
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, like
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse type shows.
Roadster
Racers.
Roadster Racers, but that's also different to the Clubhouse.
I thought the Clubhouse ended a while ago, though.
Oh, probably. I don't know.
It's whatever is the new one.
I think it's the Roadster.
Roadster Racers, I think, is the current like toddler Disney show.
It's very neon. I think I watched like an episode once.
It is very neon. The voice is now being done by Caitlin Robrock, which also she does a wonderful job. But yeah, I mean, watching this episode especially,
it hits.
But I mean, yeah, it's up there with Alan Young passing away, June Foray, these very classic, very very well-known voice actors that played very iconic characters passing away. Yeah, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh. And, yeah, I mean, watch anything from 1986 on, and it's gonna be her.
I'm gonna rewatch Three Musketeers.
Yes.
For like the 100th time in my life.
Yeah, so Scrooge has been left with the kids. And he's pissed about it because he can't be stuck babysitting when he has work to do.
He even crumples up the note, and we see Duckworth immediately come with a bin to so he can throw it in there.
Yeah, to catch it while Scrooge just throws it over his shoulder.
And this is such a fun, I don't know if I've mentioned this in our conversation or in the podcast, but it's such a fun episode to see Scrooge's expressions, because he's very expressive throughout this whole episode, and it's just fun to see because he he's very grumpy, and you can see it in his face, the moment where he turns, kind of. He's like, I'm having fun now.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of attention is. I mean, this is a very well animated episode, and maybe because there's less characters that they're able to devote a lot more attention to the expressions. Mm-hmm. Instead of there being 4 kids and various adults, it's just Scrooge and 2 kids, and then we have our 2 villains. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, just very well animated, and a lot of good Scrooge.
Mm-hmm. We have Donald roasting Scrooge via song.
Is this what he says? Eat the rich? Is this the part?
Yeah. No. So here he's kind of like complaining about like his grumpy, grouchy old uncle, like that today's gonna like suck basically, and Della's still like, no, like, you know, like Uncle Scrooge is like this amazing adventurer who did so much, like he like discovered the treasure of the 10 avatars, like we're gonna have fun today, like we're gonna go on an adventure. And this is when Scrooge declares, like, I don't adventure.
Yes.
And I love that Della is like, dude, I'm like looking at a big ass room full of treasure and shit that says otherwise.
The adventures that she mentioned Scrooge going on are a reference to comics written by Romano Scarpa and Don Rosa.
Ooh.
So, yeah, this episode's full of, like, little, like
comments and
little references, like the Trala thing, these 2 quick, like, comic titles. And we get a bit more. But yeah, this Scrooge is very much our very familiar 1987 Scrooge.
Yeah.
Who only views his adventures or his expeditions as a way to make money.
Yeah. And he says, you know, like, nothing that, like, has made it into my fortune, like, was involved having fun.
Yeah.
You know, that, like, yeah, like, he's left all of that, like, behind. He's left, like, screwing around behind to focus on a specific type of conquest, which is corporate conquest.
Yeah, the kids look excited for a second. But yeah, he's just a businessman, kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's got 2 phones.
he has 2 cell phones.
And here is where we get the iconic Donald singing.
Just another rich uncle. Gotta eat the rich uncle.
How about showing some respect by your uncle?
I'm so glad they, instead of, 1987 DuckTales Donald, he went off and joined an Imperial war machine.
Yeah.
And here he's saying eat the rich in the face of the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love it. Love that for him.
This is the Donald Duck characterization we deserve.
Scrooge, this is really funny to me. Scrooge is like, why don't you show your uncle some respect? And Donald's like, dude, this song is totally not about you.
Yeah.
And then he like keeps like going, like, you know, yeah, eat the rich.
Yeah. Scrooge just he pokes him in the forehead with his cane to push him away. And then it basically says, like, okay, you know, you're gonna keep yourself occupied while I do my work. And Duckworth pulls out a bag of marbles. And I assume he didn't expect Scrooge to catch it, because he just drops it on the ground.
Yeah, it's just Duckworth being a little bitch.
Yeah.
No wonder Beakley wants to physically fight this man.
Yeah. And yeah, again, the marbles, like in the first DuckTales episode where Scrooge tries to offer the kids marbles. I think he walks away and tells the kids not to break anything else when something starts
not
beeping.
To touch anything, yeah.
Yeah, something starts beeping. And it looks like a pocket watch.
Yeah.
It has like the shush logo on it. But instead it's like, what is it, like a mini fax machine?
Yeah, or like a ticker, or is that a thing? Like cause it prints out like a message, like a...
Yeah.
And Della says, like, you know, like, to be fair, I was already touching this.
Yeah, before you told me not to touch anything. And yeah, Scrooge is like, I need to take this. Because, so this is 30 years later. Scrooge is still technically a shush agent.
Yeah.
Because he goes and he takes a call on this blocky 90s laptop. They had FaceTime then. I'm gonna give it a pass because it's like spy shit.
Yeah, you know, spies have had FaceTime for a long time before we got it.
Yeah. It's fair. And I think this is the biggest reveal of the episode. The one that made me just be like, wait.
Mm-hmm.
Beakley is the director of Shush.
Yeah. Wow. What happened?
Deserved, obviously. Like, 30 years later. She looks the same.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, she's now the director of Shush.
Mm-hmm.
Ludwig is cryogenically frozen somewhere. Biding his time.
Yes.
To
waiting.
Return. Or he has downloaded his brain into a computer somewhere.
Yeah, either way, he's not actually dead.
No.
He's out there.
Beakley's the director of Shush, which makes me wonder even more, what the fuck happened to make her leave?
Yeah. Because it's one thing to be, you know, like an agent, even a high-ranking one, and then you have to leave an organization. But you were heading an organization. The organization, like, fell, and you had to run.
Yeah, I mean, because in the present day, it seems that both Shush and F.O.W.L, according to her, were gone.
Yeah.
Because she expresses surprise over F.O.W.L being back, saying, and escaped from the Imposter Bin, that Shush defeated them.
Yeah.
But then where the fuck is Shush in the present day?
Yeah.
Because we saw that whole room full of agents.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to them? They had bases, they had all of this, so... Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, something drastic must have happened.
Yeah,
Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, this episode makes me very interested in knowing what happened in between this and the present.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so he takes this call from Beakley, from Director 22.
Mm-hmm. And she's telling him that they finally located Captain Yellowbeak's ship. And I always mention music, because here we get this, like, really cool, like, intense kind of, like, plot development music. Like, you know, things are building up.
Yeah.
And Scrooge is like, he immediately knows what it means. It means that they found the location of the Papyrus of Binding, which is, like, one of the most powerful artifacts that is known to man.
And it's located on, like, a phantom island somewhere. And that she wants Scrooge to go get it. And he's like, I'm kind of busy. Can you send, like, another agent? Yeah. And she's telling him that he's the only one she trusts.
Mm-hmm. Because
she believes there's a mole inside Shush.
Yeah. Things are already heating up, you know, like, in the organization. As Scrooge is having this conversation, we have Della and Donald are obviously listening in. Oh, because we did mention that the island is in the Bermuda Trapezoid.
Yes, which is fun.
Yeah.
I couldn't find if that was a reference to something.
It's supposed to be a play on the Bermuda Triangle.
No, I know that.
Yeah, but that's it, right?
I know that. I wasn't sure if the Bermuda Trapezoid, because it's a fun little, like, trapezoid. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was something that was from the original series. But no, there is a DuckTales episode called the Bermuda Triangle Tangle. And so I'm like, oh, it's not fucking...
Yeah.
I might be making up that it was mentioned earlier. Maybe it was mentioned earlier on, like, an earlier episode of current DuckTales.
Yeah. But I'm like, funny, the shape changed.
yeah, no, it's fun. It's
and Della gets really excited because she's hearing all of these things, you know, like Yellowbeak, this Bermuda Trapezoid, this Phantom Island. And Donald does one of my favorite things, which is calling out, like, band names.
Yes.
Like, that's one of my favorite just jokes in general. And she's like, fuck your band. Like, you know, like, imagine going on an adventure and then you, like, have some, like, life experience that you can write songs about. And then Donald gets on board, you know, like, like, that's what music is all about.
Yes. And life is still out to get Donald because 2 strings on his guitar... What's the word? Snap, and hit him in the eye, one at a time, in each eye. And so his eyes are big and red and swollen. I hate it. It's terrible.
But he's still excited about going on an adventure.
Yeah, I love, that they still bring in Donald's bad luck and getting beat up by stuff, making it slightly more child-friendly. So that this little kid can still get injured.
Life is still out to get him.
Yep.
I hate looking at his eyes so much.
Yeah, this is when the kids burst in, like, yes, we're gonna go, we're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. And Scrooge is immediately like, okay, like, to Duckworth, like, revise a schedule. I'm going to go on this business trip. But he's like, alone, you know, solo.
Yes. And we go to the mansion briefly. While Scrooge is packing, and Della's trying to convince him first to let her and Donald be his sidekicks. But he's like, I fucking hate sidekicks. No.
Yeah. And so then we go outside and, like, you know, he's, like, packing the car. And she's, like, pops out of the trunk like an unpaid intern then. And he's like, no, like, I work alone.
And then when they're in the limo, I assume Duckworth driving him to the airport or wherever he needs to go. She's like, how about, like, if you need, like, the heavies, like, to fight off anyone you might find. And Scrooge tries to dump them on Duckworth.
Yeah.
Like, you can help Duckworth do chores at the mansion.
And I love Duckworth. He, like, no hesitation. He's like, yeah, like, I'm happy to, like, put him to work because you're going to be paying me overtime, aren't you? And Scrooge is like, overtime? What am I, made out of money?
As they hit a bump and, like, mountains of gold pour out of his pockets into the seats next to him.
I'm sure Duckworth could use plenty of help around the house.
Happy to put the little ones to work, especially since you'll be paying me overtime.
Overtime? What? Am I made of money?
1987, Duckworth would have taken this, would have just made a sassy comment. This Duckworth is like, okay, I'm gonna watch these kids, but you're gonna fucking pay me for it. Yeah. Bet.
Like, you know, I'm gonna tell your sister if you don't. I love Donald's reaction immediately. Like, starts playing another song about how his rich uncle's made out of money.
Yes.
And he, like, looks at Scrooge like, please still take us.
Yeah, they both want to go when Scrooge Scrooge finally caves, right? Because he has no choice.
No.
It's either take them or leave them with Duckworth and pay Duckworth money.
Yeah. And that's too...
And
that's like,
too
shoveling coins back into his pocket.
Yeah, he does, start shoving fistfuls back in. And Scrooge is like, but leave the fucking guitar. And Donald says, no, you can't mute me, old man. Then Scrooge throws the guitar into a trash can out the window of the moving car. Awful.
So I like to think that Scrooge replaced that guitar for Donald.
Maybe it's the electric one he has later.
Yeah, I hope so.
It's even louder, but...
They came back and he, like, went to pick the guitar out from the garbage.
Someone took that guitar. It was, like, a perfectly fine acoustic guitar. It is gone. It's the 1990s. Everyone is grunge. Some other fucking grunge teenager took it.
Yeah, honestly,
he had a fight over it. He had a fight over that trash counter with 5 other grunge teens.
Everyone wants to start their garage band.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So this next shot, I mean, I think they flew somewhere else, because where they looks more tropical than Duckburg.
Yeah, so it's
right? There's
a
tropical
connection.
noises in the background. They're charting a flight to the Phantom Island, and there's no launch pad, there's no current pilot, Della, so he has to hire pilots.
Yeah.
These definitely not at all familiar pilots who we see.
You know, any similarities they have to people you may know is accidental. And I love Della's very excited because she's like letting them, like, she's saying how she plays Outrunner 2, which is a flight simulator, and how she's like an ace pilot, and that she's ready to, like, fly a plane.
Yes, super ready. I love how high energy Della is, and Donald being, like, eyes half-lidded, like, expression a lot of the time. It was cute.
Yeah. And, okay, so this is one of my favorite moments, because it's so funny to me that Scrooge, like, walks away, and he calls out to them, and he's like...
Donna! Dello! Come on now, let's not drag our spats.
Am I Dello or Donna?
Who cares? To adventure!
Not an adventure.
To business trip!
Donna and Dello, come on, let's not drag our spats. And why it's so funny to me is because something like this has happened to me. My grandfather, you know, we all know how I feel about that man, but whatever. So... one time, this was like years ago probably, but he was leaving. Yeah, he had come over for like a bit and he was leaving. And he goes to me and my brother, we're like both in the living room saying bye. And so my full name is Fabiola. My brother's name is Octavio. And he like goes and he looks at both of us who are standing in the same spot. And he goes like, adios Fabio. And so my brother and I were both like, was it just towards me and he decided to not let you know? Most people call me Faby. Or did he combine our names, like Octavio and Fabiola, into just Fabio? Because he never did it again.
That's so much funnier than what I was expecting.
So it's so funny to me. He's like,
Dello, Donna.
Sometimes my brother, to annoy me, he'll like turn to me and he's like, Fabio, and I'm like, I'll kick your ass. Because I was just so startled. Because
I don't know what I would do. Oh my god.
My brother never just did. My mom was like, why didn't you say goodbye? And I was like, because I didn't know if he was talking to me.
It's like I was too startled. I didn't know how to react.
My brother was like, I don't know what that was about. But every time I see this scene, I think about just him, like, because if had it been just me in the room, I would have like, okay, I guess he decided to call me Fabio. But just the fact that my brother was there.
Yeah, there's no adios Fabio, adios Octavio.
No, it was like just 2 for 1 Fabio.
Wow. That's amazing. Wow. So Scrooge, so they're in the plane, they're flying. Mm-hmm. And the kids are sitting with Scrooge on the bench, and they're asking him, like, okay, what is this thing we're after exactly?
Yeah.
Because they don't really know.
No, because Della starts to, like, wanting to hype it up, like, the adventure that they're going on, but she's like, yeah, no idea what this thing is. And, I mean, we know Scrooge loves a monologue. He loves a speech.
He loves a good MacGuffin monologue.
Yeah.
And this MacGuffin is the Papyrus of Binding, so we get its lore, its history. Mm-hmm. It's basically a vehicle for, like, limitless genie wishes. Mm-hmm. Basically.
Yeah.
It gives you write on it, and whatever you ask it for, it'll give you anything.
Yeah.
And then it was originally created for a pharaoh, like an Egyptian pharaoh. Maybe Tothra?
Maybe. I just imagined it as one of those shitty, like, arcade game notebooks that are like a plastic film. And then you write on it with, like, a neon, and then you, like, peel it, and it, like, erases everything.
Oh my god, fuck.
But yeah, he's explaining, but that, like, it was too powerful, so, like, wars started to break out because people wanted to control it.
Like, the last time the papyrus was heard of was when Captain Yellowbeak stole it from the Spanish Armada. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it disappeared from existence. And this is the second time they've mentioned Captain Yellowbeak. And Captain Yellowbeak is actually a character who previously existed in the Donald Duck comics. He was created, introduced in the comic Donald Duck Finds Pirate Gold in 1942, which is written by Bob Karp and illustrated by Carl Barks and Jack Hanna. It's considered the first issue of Donald Duck, the first official comic. Like, it's not a strip, a official comic, and the first major Carl Barks story.
Oh,
I would recommend giving it a look. The animation, the art, like, holds up and is funny. Mm-hmm. And in that, Captain Yellowbeak is a little parrot. He's not he's not Jose Carioca sized.
Yeah.
To Donald, he's like parrot sized. Oh. And as we see him in the drawing here, and as Scrooge is monologuing, and he looks exactly the same, just a little parrot sized,
a little small.
Yeah. And like the premise of the comic is he recruits Donald and the nephews to help him find this pirate gold, and the villain of the comic is Pete. It's him and then these weird Mortimer Mouse looking guys who are the bad guys.
Pete needs to be in more things.
I mean, he's in all like on all of Goof Troop, which we haven't watched.
Yeah. Sounds fun.
Yeah. This episode is full of references to first adventures. So Donald finds pirate gold, the first Donald Duck comic. Later, Scrooge will mention the Treasure of the Golden Suns, which was the first adventure of DuckTales 1987.
Yeah, even I remember that one.
Yeah. And this episode itself is called The First Adventure, because the first time Scrooge is actively considering one of these treasure hunts an adventure. And the first time he's going on one of these adventures with his family. This is a whole episode of firsts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's fun.
And so Scrooge finishes his monologue, and you can see that like he like enjoys talking to the kids about it, but he gets a call, and it's so funny to see him like, I don't know, I wish I was a cartoon character that could stack things and then hide them under a hat.
Yes, it's the dream.
The dream. Or endless pockets.
Oh, that's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah. And he gets a call from Beakley telling him that like he needs to watch out because, you know, Black Heron was sighted where he left from with someone else. Yeah.
Someone else. And this is when Heron's like, well, time to reveal myself. Because I think Scrooge is like, you worry too much.
Yeah.
To be
like, I'm not worried about it. Like, and Heron is like, you should be, bitch, because I'm here.
I'm your pilot. And yeah, she reveals herself and taking Bradford by surprise, because this clearly was not the plan. And she drags him out of his pilot seat over to the door, which she throws open. They're in midair.
Yes.
So that they can jump out. Dragging Bradford behind her.
Like the whole time, he's just like, what's happening? Why are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
Oh, 22, come on, you're always on edge. I'm not worried about a thing.
You should be.
Black Heron!
Wait, you're doing this now?
Enjoy your trip. It will be your last.
Hold on, where are you going?
Yeah.
And so now they have no pilots. Oh, and yeah, Bradford has a parachute. And Heron has like this fucking winged flight suit bullshit she's made.
It's so funny to me that Scrooge has never bothered to learn how to pilot.
Yes. Oh my god. Like, he's 100 and whatever years old. He's older than planes. Yeah. And he never learned. Like, his 10-year-old niece needs to be the one to land this plane.
Because he never bothered to learn. It's
oh my god, it's so funny. He's so fucking useless.
Yeah.
Because, so the plane there's no pilot. So he goes and he closes the door that they jumped out of. And he tells the kids to grab the yoke so that they don't crash immediately.
And, you know, Della, she has a lot of experience because she plays a simulator.
Yes. And she recognizes the altimeter, and that's all I got.
I don't know, she's like airspeed. She's like, I recognize things, but she's like, I don't know what to do. And Scrooge is like, just do anything. And she's like, okay, like, I'm gonna do this. And she pulls the yoke up, I guess. So they like don't crash into the ocean at the ground.
Yeah, into the ocean. And Scrooge is like, okay, we need somewhere to land. And Donald sees the island. It's the Phantom Island, because they were fairly close.
Yeah. And it's like
Scrooge is standing there fucking useless.
Yeah. He can't do anything.
Yeah, you were saying.
Oh, that's like very like foggy and misty. So you get this cool shot of like the reveal of the island as like they come in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're flying real fast through the clouds and the fog, and there's a bunch of like rock formations that would like keeping ships away and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I like the vibe of the island because the whole thing is very muted and foggy. We see Heron land and Bradford crashes onto the beach. which is like full of like clumps of seaweed. I always like how distinct they always make their the settings,
like
the locations.
Yeah. And I love that Heron like lands with a flare. Like she's like exclaiming how like it was such a rush, like that was so fun. And Bradford is like, that fucking sucked. And she's like, no, like that was great. And he's like mad because like he's like, why did we have to reveal ourselves? Like we could have landed the plane and then captured them, you know, tied them up in the plane or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like what's the fun in that? Like she tells him to embrace his wild side because they're super villains.
Yes.
And Bradford does not like that because he's like, no, the fuck we're not. Like,
no.
You know, he specifically tells her like, your showboating is gonna cost us this artifact. And she's like, you suck.
Yeah, so we're going to see how this is the first of many instances of Bradford and Heron clashing.
Mm-hmm.
Because of Heron not following his plan by going and doing the elaborate, reckless supervillain move. And I guess, by this point, F.O.W.L was a problem back in as early as the 1960s. So, I assume F.O.W.L must be a sizable organization of some sort.
Yeah.
To have been a threat even back then. This is 30 years later. But so Bradford is going out on a mission.
Yeah.
So they're not at the level of where they are in the present.
Mm-mm.
But they are a threat, I guess.
Yeah, they're still a threat, but like they're still kind of even. Because we're going to see later, we see later that they're not kind of even anymore. And it's like, it's a 30-year-long like discussion of the way they should run this organization, basically.
Yeah.
Because Heron is very much like, if we're going to do something, we're going to do it like a villain and we're going to do it grand. And that's very much, Bradford is like, no, like, we're going to do things in a way that we can accomplish it with like minimal damage, cost, risk. Like,
yeah.
I have a plan and we're going to stick to it. And
at this point, they're still almost equals.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be the case in the future. Heron saying, oh yeah, there's no way they survived that plane, there's no way they survived that, like, we're in the clear. as the plane comes in behind them and lands.
Yeah.
and the kids jump out.
And cheer.
They jump out onto the roof of the plane. We're alive! Like 100 feet away, like they land.
Yeah.
And Bradford's like, okay, let's get a fucking move on. Mm-hmm. We have to hurry now.
The plane isn't even like dented. It like lands perfectly.
Yeah. Della lands the plane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ha! We're alive! Nice work, lass. That was incredible. Yeah, incredibly dangerous. No time to waste. F.O.W.L is still out there, seeking the Papyrus.
And he's like elated and he's proud of Della and the kids for like landing this fucking plane. But he like immediately like kind of like composes himself. And he's like, we have to get moving because F.O.W.L is here, so we need to beat them to it.
And both Donald and Della, like, after each other, they slide down the front of the plane and jump down, like, 20 feet to Scrooge for him to catch them.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cute, because he's like, oh shit, and he does catch them both. And he's, like, looking out into the mist, like, they have to find this. And the kids, Donald and Della, look at each other, and then they mimic Scrooge.
Yeah. They're, like, squinting, like, looking. Donald keeps having to flick his, like, bangs out of his face.
Yeah, and they copy Scrooge's his expression and how he walks away. It was cute. It was a nice little, like, quiet, like, background gag.
Yeah.
Aww. Yeah, because I think what Scrooge mentions that shipwrecked pirate shipwreck, whatever.
Yes.
Is not on the beach.
Yes.
Like, they don't see it here, so they have to keep looking for it.
Mm-hmm. And so we see them, like, walking. And it's, like we said, it's very, like, muted colors. Like, there's a lot of, like...
What do you mean?
They're, like, going through, like, not tunnels.
I know what you mean.
All I can think of is when you almost fell taking a photo in Iceland. Like, walking. I guess, like, cliffs, but they're not that tall.
No. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Point is that they're, like, going under, and you can see, like, on top of the, like, the layer, there's, like, roots of trees growing, and it's very, like, jungly and dark and misty. And they're, like, still, like, walking behind Scrooge, and, I can never, why did I initial things like that?
Oh my god. Donna or Della?
Donna or Della asked, like, where the pirate ship is, and Scrooge is like, you need to, like, shut up and, like, be quiet, because people are around.
Yeah, and he's trying to get a signal with his brick cell phone.
Yeah. And Donald is, like, without a guitar, he keeps tapping things to, like, make music, basically. And Scrooge is like, please shut up.
He wants him not to give their position away.
Yeah.
And I love Donald saying that Scrooge has no appreciation for the experience of adventures.
Yeah.
It's all about results.
Scrooge is complaining that, like,
I've got a problem with giving away our position to the bad guys. I've got several meetings planned for this afternoon, and being dead could throw off my whole day.
Figures. You gotta embrace the experience, man. There's more to life than work and money.
Said the future freeloader.
Yeah, because Scrooge is complaining that he has to, like, possibly cancel plans and meetings. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, Donald is very, like, I don't know, he expresses himself, like, very maturely, because he tells Scrooge, like, you have to embrace the experience, like, there's more to life than just work and money. And Scrooge calls this child a future freeloader.
Wow. He's like fucking dirty hippie.
Yeah, he basically is. He doesn't know what grunge is.
He doesn't.
Like, this is just another hippie.
Yeah, this is just a hippie in black. Is that a beatnik?
That would it be? I think beatniks would be offended if we call them
probably
hippies in black. But Donald does a little song about how that Scrooge is obscene for only thinking about money all the time.
Yeah. And he trips a trap that Heron laid. And it's like this Rube Goldberg thing. Like, they watch this boulder roll down and, like, up or something. Like, they just watch it in front of them and they're like, huh.
What the fuck? I wonder what that is.
Yeah, and then it hits, like, these domino stone tiles. Mm-hmm. And da-da-da-da-da. And they're just standing there watching this trap, like, slowly happen. Meanwhile, on the cliffs above, Bradford and Heron are watching this. And Bradford is questioning the supervillain, like, why are we waiting for them to fall into our trap?
Yeah.
Why don't we just go and let them fall into the trap?
And, Heron is like, trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And so the trap is finally sprung, and it, like, a rope is, like, tied around Donald's ankle, and it flings him into the air, like, 100 feet.
Yeah, like, way
over the mist and the trees, more than 100 feet high.
Mm-hmm.
And he sees Yellow Beak's pirate ship on a cliff, and it's split in half because it's propped up on two separate thin cliffs, and because of the fact that it's a giant pirate ship and that it's old, it's split.
Yeah, and it looks pretty rad because you get like like above the mist and stuff, and you just see like that ship up there, and Donald notices it, and he's like fearing for his life because and
then he falls back down but does not die because his rope gets stuck on the trees and he's like hanging upside down now.
And he tells Scrooge, like, on the peak, and he points at a direction, there's a ship. And Scrooge immediately, he's like, oh shit, like, that must, that can only happen because of the papyrus. So he's like excited. He looks like I wrote in my notes that he looks like a dweeb here. It's really like expressive.
Mm-hmm.
they found Yellow Beak's lost ship, and Della goes to like help Donald off. And she just kind of walks all over him.
Yeah, she's like biting on the rope while like climbing on him, and somehow gets him loose, and he falls. And meanwhile, above, Heron is like, "All right, now we'll follow them to the papyrus and take it first."
Yeah.
And this is like the only plan of hers that Bradford acknowledges is good.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, surprisingly, that's okay."
And then she's like, "Then we'll use the papyrus for ourselves."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "No, bad plan. I take it back."
And she's like, "Why the hell not? Like, why can I not use the papyrus for its intended purpose?"
Yeah, she is so short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because Bradford explains, because Scrooge was a little sparse with the exact details of how the papyrus works.
Mm-hmm.
And Bradford explains how dangerous it is. Because Bradford says he wants to destroy it, or he wants to keep it from ever being used.
Yeah, basically.
I assume destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love he says the papyrus is literally, dangerously literal.
Yeah.
It's the actual, the really shitty, specific genie thing. That's what the papyrus is.
All those very, shitty, genie jokes.
Well, then what's the point? Why can't I ask the papyrus for ultimate power?
Because then we get blasted by 1 trillion volts of electricity. What about unimaginable wealth? Then we're crushed under mountains of invisible treasure. The papyrus is literally dangerously literal. A slightly misworded command could end us both.
Because Black Heron asked at it, why can't she ask for, unattainable ultimate power? And he's like, you will literally, get blasted by, 1 trillion volts of electricity.
Yeah. This is an example of what Bradford wants to keep from the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's too dangerous for anyone to have.
Yeah.
And I like that. He doesn't want to use it.
No.
If anything, he wants to use it to destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he doesn't want it in anyone's hands.
She says, it's worth the risk. Possibly getting killed by it is worth the risk.
Yeah. And Bradford is very much against it. And again, this whole thing with him denying that he's a supervillain. He says here that he's an undercover counteragent, not a villain.
And he's walking away from her, and he gets also caught in a trap.
Yeah. And so this another example of this their current relationship that it can't stay the way it is. It's deteriorating.
Yeah.
Because he's getting more and more fed up with her.
It's so funny to see her laugh at him.
Yeah, she gets. Yeah, did you say he gets stuck in a rope trap that she laid and forgot about?
Yeah.
Embrace your inner villain.
For the last time, I'm an undercover counteragent, not a villain.
Forgot I said that one.
And now Scrooge and the kids are climbing up to reach the cliff with the ship on it, and he's telling the kids the story of basically the ending of the Treasure of the Golden Suns 5-part episode/movie that was the premiere of DuckTales 1987.
Yeah.
No! What? The gold is buried under a mountain of dirt. Fool! I will dig up the gold if it's the last thing I do.
The first adventure.
And yeah, the kids
I got emotional.
Oh
no! But yeah.
Because he's saying that he's telling this big epic story, but that at the end of it, he didn't get any money out of it.
Yeah.
But the kids are like, but you got this amazing story, you got this amazing adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And Scrooge does start to think, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
And Donald starts to sing this song.
He starts to sing his little song about how his rich uncle isn't that bad, And Scrooge kind of kind of smiles, okay, I dig this song. He he stands up a little straighter, but then immediately Donald is but now he's a husk of a man.
Rich uncle, not so bad, was a misunderstood hero. But now he's a gritty husk of a duck, dead inside.
Scrooge is what the fuck?
Excuse me.
And he almost walks clean off a cliff.
Oh, so Scrooge does, yeah. Scrooge almost does.
Yeah.
Yeah, they reach the end of this cliff. Like I said, like, there's the two cliffs that the ship is propped up on. Mm-hmm. And they have to get to the other side.
Yeah.
And Della tries to jump it. And it's like
She does.
like 50 feet across. Like, it's like unfathomably deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
It's not like, Dewey, I see a lot of your mother in you.
Yes. I love it. I think what Donald yells, "No, don't!" And Scrooge catches her midair before she can jump to her death.
And the thing is, as soon as you know, she's like caught, he's like, "Oh, you're right. You know, Donald should do it." And, like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and Scrooge is like, "No, hop on my back." And Della's like, "I'm afraid of breaking every bone in your old body."
That's such a Louis thing. When he just says that sort of shit to Scrooge.
God.
And he's like,
yeah.
freaking do it before I regret it.
Like, he's like, shut up, holy shit. And yeah, so they both climb on his back, and like, was he holding the cane before? No, he wasn't. He had it like in a pocket or something.
I think I got a screen cap of him like twirling it, but it looks so curvy because it's like mid-animation.
Yeah. So it's the Von Drake, the action cane, PPK. He must have had it like in a pocket because it's like tiny, like it's folded up.
Yeah, because he kind of just like magics it, like it's suddenly in his hand, and like it extends.
He uses it like the pogo stick, obviously like we've seen in previous episodes, and there is again a reference to the NES game.
Yeah, that which we've never played.
I have technically played. I was able to get it on Steam. I don't know if it's. I assume it's the same thing because Scrooge jumps on a pogo stick, and I assume that's it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I never played the original console game because that's before my time.
But yeah, so they make it to the other side of the ship.
Yeah, and so they land inside where the treasure is.
And they immediately like spot the bones of Yellowbeak.
Yes, and there's like piles of gold with other skeletons, lots of dead crewmen. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and so they found it, because we see Yellowbeak, his skeleton. I mean, he's wearing like the hat and the bandana and everything. He's holding like the what's the word? The quill, and the papyrus is right in front of him.
Mm-hmm. And he's like using like a treasure chest as a desk that he's writing on.
Yeah. Yes. And we see Della reads this aloud, and this is so fucked up. This thing she reads.
It's so messed up.
Yeah, it's Yellowbeak's last will and testament.
Yeah.
And it's basically just him saying what happened. Mm-hmm. It's fucked.
Yeah, because he basically says that like he got it, and like death was like probably like days or like moments afterwards. Like it was so fast, because he says that like he asked the papyrus for escape from the Spaniards, and they got shipwrecked here, like on this mountain of all places. Mm-hmm. He asked the papyrus for water for his crewmen, and that like his crewmen drowned on dry land. Yeah.
So I guess like their lungs filled with water.
Yeah.
Just immediately, and then they died. We're panning to like some dead crewmen, some dead duck crewmen.
That he asked, so he's like asking the papyrus to set him free from this curse.
And so it killed him where he sat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's him quasi committing suicide.
Yeah.
Because he asked for it to free him, and so it killed him right there. Mm-hmm. And as Della's reading, as she finishes reading it, the words like slide off the page and they're gone, and it's like, oh my god, these kids are gonna need therapy.
I mean, yeah, but yeah, like that was dark. I'm like, When I heard them first say like I asked them for water, but my crew drowned on dry land. I'm like, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
Oh my god.
So you have to be like, I want like bottles of water placed in front of me on the ground. Bottles filled with water.
Yeah.
Like you have to be insanely specific.
What's that one from SpongeBob? He's like, I want to be, when he summons the ice cream truck.
What was it? I want to. Am I gonna look this up?
Yeah. The wording is important.
I'm every bit as cool as Larry, and if I'm not, let me be struck by a flying ice cream truck. And live!
That's funny.
God. And Scrooge ruins this intense, harrowing moment.
He's ruining the ambiance.
He's ruining the ambiance because he finally got a signal on his phone and he's standing on like 20 stacked items and swaying precariously.
The last will and testament of Captain Yellowbeak. This accursed papyrus has only brought grief. I asked it for escape from the Spaniards, and it shipwrecked us here on this mountain. I asked it for water, and my crew drowned on dry land. And so, I asked the papyrus to free me from this curse once and for
Duckworth, yes, keep the meetings. What about done here?
Yeah, because, like, we see, like, the desk is, like, lit by, like a sun ray, and it's very, like, dark, and, like, you know, the kids are like, fuck, like, these people died. Meanwhile, Scrooge is like, you know what, don't cancel my meetings, I'm gonna make it.
He's like, yeah, we've just about wrapped this up. He's like not like appreciating any of like, oh wow, like we found this guy's last will, and oh my god, they all died horribly. He's like, yeah, okay, we're done.
we won it, and that's it.
I think he's calling Beakley to send in an extraction team, right?
Yeah.
He has a barrel on a box, on a crate, on a barrel, on a crate, on a barrel. And it's all just swaying.
Jeez. Yeah, he has like 1 foot up to like balance himself.
Yeah. And we pan out a bit and we see Bradford's shadow over the pile of treasure. He's gonna sneak in to take the papyrus.
Yeah. And we do get a shot because we go back to like the kids, you know, admonishing Scrooge because it's like, you know, like your meetings are still more important than adventure, you know. And Scrooge is like, we need to get home, and Donald is like singing again about his sellout uncle, his uncle the sellout.
Yeah, and he's playing a harp that he found, which I thought was a nice detail. He's like, oh, musical instrument.
Yeah,
yoink.
Strings.
And we see behind them Bradford crawling on the ground. So it's like sneak behind them to get the papyrus. Like he's in within Scrooge's eyesight, but Scrooge doesn't notice him.
No.
And you probably wouldn't have. But of course, Heron makes her dramatic entrance, and I love Bradford stops. He could have just grabbed it right there, but he stops like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hi, me again? Time to rewrite history.
Because she's basically like, it's me again, bitch.
Yes. Thought you saw the last of me, huh? Della runs at her.
Yeah.
And Heron like kicks like a wooden board, and they're so old it breaks and it knocks Della spinning backwards. And the dust makes Bradford start coughing, and so that's when Scrooge notices him.
Yeah. And Scrooge kind of recognizes him. He's like, you showed up at my Christmas party.
Yeah, it takes him a bit. Like he's like, wait, you work for Shush. You're the mole.
Yeah. And so he has to warn Beakley, but he isn't able to because Heron like grabs the phone and crushes it.
Yeah, so his cover's blown. Bradford's cover is blown. And Bradford obviously gets pissed. at Heron for completely blowing their cover.
Yeah, and she's like, it's liberating, isn't it?
Oh my god.
He's like, no. And I love that Scrooge's 2 phones paid off because he just goes to grab the other one.
I know, yes, I know. I'm like, okay, there's 2 phones. The joke of him just having 2 phones stuck into paid off in a practical way.
Yes.
So Heron revealed, and she grabs the papyrus, which again, Bradford did not want to do. And she's going to use it. Yeah.
The kids try to go after her, but they get electrocuted.
Yeah, because 2 of the fingers of her prosthetic arm, come off on wires and electrocute them. And same thing, one of her fingers turns into a pen. And she writes on the papyrus, she asks it to kill Scrooge's sidekicks.
Yes. And, the twins are like screaming, like holding on to each other because they don't want to die. And they don't.
Yeah. And Della's like, I'm the chosen one. No magic can kill me.
And, Heron is like, what the fuck? Like, this thing is broken then because it didn't work. It didn't do what I asked it to. And Scrooge gets to have a moment. He kind of has this moment of, like, he tells her, like, they're not my sidekicks, they're my family. And it's like, oh, and Heron is like, oh, gross.
Gross. And look, like, she knows now that she could write now, I want Scrooge's family to drop dead. Like,
I mean, yeah.
She could now, because Scrooge gives her the proper wording. She writes again on the papyrus and asks it to revive the bones of Captain Yellowbeak.
Yeah.
Which, sure.
Yeah. It's dramatic. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's evil.
It is.
Does he, like, demand their booty? Is that what he said?
I thought he said, long live or I am Captain Yellowbeak.
Oh, okay. See, I couldn't hear.
Oh yeah, it's a very, like, garbled voice.
Yeah.
So long, suckers!
Because he has no actual throat.
No, he does not. He's got a tongue still there for some reason.
For the drama.
Yes, for the drama, so we can talk. Yeah, he looks cool. He has the peg leg, which also has in the comic. He grabs a sword and he's going to, kill him. I love you have Heron running behind them like, later, suckers! Holding the papyrus.
I think, since I watch pirates, I just love the idea of, like, skeleton pirates. It's so fun.
I also rewatched Pirates of the Caribbean. The effects of that movie hold up so well.
Yeah. I love still, like, the reveal.
Yes.
Of, like, the moonlight. It's so fun.
Whenever, like, whenever it's, like, the slow, like, whenever they pass in and out of the moonlight, I'm like, fuck, that's rad as hell. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah. But yeah, so, Heron and Bradford get to, like, climb up and run away.
Yeah, they climb up onto the deck, and Scrooge goes to fight the Captain Yellowbeak and tells the kids, hey kids, go chase after the dangerous F.O.W.L agent.
Yeah. Not your best word.
I mean, between the skeleton with a sword and the 2 people without, like, swords.
Yeah, but they could also fall off the ship.
Which one of them does.
Yeah, so.
not great.
Mm-mm. So we go back to the domestic dispute.
This is where they get divorced. Officially.
It was a terrible relationship in the first place, but...
This is like the last straw we see from Bradford. Yeah, because he finally blows up at her that he basically compares her to Scrooge, like her Scrooge, that they're all the same, they're nothing but trouble, that they're all completely reckless, and they're the source of the problem he's trying to fix.
Yeah. And she's like, fuck you, like, everything you do is, like, basically you just give speeches. If you actually want to, like, take over the world, freaking do it. Like, just do it. Be a villain, embrace that, and do it.
And
she gets tackled.
yeah, she gets tackled by 2 children. But we see that, Bradford does take this to heart.
Yeah.
We see by the end of the episode. Because up to now, he's stayed in Shush. He stayed, I assume, doing the same thing he'd been doing 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And not being as proactive as he could be in actually taking over the world. This is where his and Heron's relationship does change. And we see in later episodes, they're no longer equals like they are here. He's clearly her superior.
Yeah. Yeah, like he just dismisses her. Like, her antics are just kind of like, whatever, like, kind of push her away. She'll do her own thing, but we're not really gonna respect, like, her opinion in the matter, really. Like, because she's not gonna change, also.
Yeah. I think, like we said earlier, a very good example of this is in Double O Duck, You Only Crash Twice, the 3rd episode of the season? Yeah, where he is clearly the one in charge.
Yeah.
And he's the one giving all the orders. Yeah, and so Heron is getting beat up by the kids. She throws Della, like, looks like she throws her overboard completely.
Yeah. Just flings her, and Donald is, like, obviously yelling because his sister just got thrown over a cliff, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, she just kind of is like, oh, okay, like, I'm done here, basically.
Yeah, she's like, oh, that's done. Finally killed one of them. Yeah, and then Donald goes into, like, his rage and tackles her and is just, like, jumping on her back.
Yeah.
As Della climbs up, like, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, no worries.
And she's like, oh, never mind then. He does, like, that fun, like, Donald Duck, like, twirl around her.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And I go back to Scrooge fighting Yellowbeak. And it's fun, like the skeleton looks real good. A centipede, like, crawls over his face and into his empty eye socket.
Yeah.
Which is gross.
And, like, the fight is cool. Yeah. There's, like, a moment where, like, Scrooge thinks he kind of defeated him.
Yeah, because Yellowbeak's, like, leaning backwards, not moving. And then, sword comes up. It was a ruse. And Yellowbeak, like, leads him out onto the plank. And Scrooge, he falls briefly, or he falls, like, onto the plank, and we see some money falls out of his pockets. Yeah. But he's having a ton of fun.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so he, like, turns Yellowbeak's, like, head around so he can look at Della, who's, like, she doesn't shoot, like, a cannonball. She just throws the entirety of the cannon at him.
Yeah, because it's pointed, the cannon is pointed, you know, in the opposite direction, but she has it fire, so the cannon itself gets propelled backwards, holding it in place. And Scrooge jumps out of the way in time for it to crash into Yellowbeak and, you know, send his remains over the edge.
Della's very excited because he's a double dead pirate.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think we mentioned that Bradford tackled Heron earlier, and the papyrus floated up to the crow's nest.
Oh yeah, we did not say that. Also, I don't even know what that thing was called. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. And Bradford is currently climbing the rigging to get up to it. And Scrooge, he, like, cuts a rope so that it drops like a weight, and so the rope pulls him up, and he lands in the crow's nest with Bradford. Bradford just shoves him off.
Yeah, he does. He straight up just shoves him off. No hesitation.
He lands on the edge.
Which is, like, it's a very villainous move, and he took action. He wasn't just there.
He shoved him. But Scrooge catches himself on the very bottom of the crow's nest thing. And Scrooge is like, you fucking son of a bitch. Like, I know who you are. Like, there's nowhere you can go. There's nowhere you can hide. We know who you are now.
Yeah. Because Bradford tries to be like, you know, like, I was just trying to avoid everything, like, all of this destruction and chaos. And Scrooge is like, it's gonna get worse. Because, yeah, like, we know who you are. Like, you've made an enemy of me, of my family, of the organization. like, we're gonna tear the world apart to find you again if you manage to escape.
Well, Scrooge climbs up back into the crow's nest, and like a little bit, Bradford is like a coward right here because he like flinches back and is like, shit, because he can't beat Scrooge in a fight.
No.
He just beat an undead pirate with a sword.
Yeah.
He has the papyrus in his hand, and he decides to be proactive, like Heron said he should be.
And so he declares that as far as the ducks know, Bradford Buzzard was never here. And he, like, disappears.
I'm Scrooge McDuck. As long as adventure courses through my veins, no villain can best me.
But I am no villain. At least I won't be. To you. Papyrus, as far as the ducks know, Bradford Buzzard was never here.
What was it? Oh, the papyrus!
And he's erased from their memory. He was never in this place, they never saw him, and his whole reveal never happened. Which is so great.
Yeah.
It's so smart. And so, so Bradford does use the papyrus just so he can stay hidden. Because otherwise they would have been dead in the water from here on.
Yeah. And I love this moment of, like, Scrooge is like, you see that he's visibly confused, like, he does not know why he's up here or what's happening. But then he sees, like, the papyrus, and he's like, oh, that's what it was, you know?
Yeah. He jumps back down to the deck, and Heron has captured Donald and Della. And is threatening them with the blaster in her arm.
Jesus Christ. Just straight up, like, to the head. Like.
Oh, yeah. And she tells Scrooge to hand over the papyrus or she'll kill them. And Scrooge is like, nah, don't think so. And starts writing on the papyrus.
And she sets off a couple of blasts like to the air. She's like, stop writing, no, don't write. Like,
yeah. It's like, oh no, my evil plan.
Exactly, like, Heron.
And yeah, what Scrooge wrote was, I think, pretty smart. It was smart. It was super smart. So she can't kill the kids because he writes on the papyrus like, I wish for the papyrus to be lost until the rightful heir until my rightful heir finds it or whatever. And he can't have any heirs unless these two survive.
Yeah,
because he's never gonna have kids.
No. And yeah.
Unless Dickie Duck is canon in this universe, in which case she is his granddaughter.
Yeah, but we don't know.
But I don't think she's canon in this universe, so we're good. No. I think he says, like, the rightful, the one true heir, or something.
Yeah, he says rightful heir.
Okay. And he lets it go, and the papyrus just floats away, and nobody can touch it, because it's magically propelled out of everyone's reach.
Yeah. Though Heron does try to grab it.
Yeah, and does she fall off the ship and trying to grab it?
Because she like extends, like, what do you call it? It's not really like a...
It's the Inspector Gadget arm.
Yeah. But she, like, overshoots it so that she, like, tumbles overboard, basically. Yeah. And once again, she falls from a very high place. And when we go to see her, it's just, like, her prosthetic arm that's hanging on.
Yeah. Like, what was it? The confidential case files. I mean, I guess if she's holding on...
Yeah.
And she just catches herself by the prosthetic, by the prosthesis. It's gonna let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mention Scrooge's note. He put a smiley face at the end. Which is cute. So, the rightful heir of Scrooge McDuck, whatever the fuck that means.
Exactly.
And
that's so vague.
It's so vague. But we can presume that is why the agents of F.O.W.L stole Scrooge's feather in the episode. The split sword of Swanstantine. In order to, we're theorizing, clone Scrooge. And that clone will be his heir.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah?
Wouldn't it just be a clone, though? It would be an heir. Because an heir is like a child. Like, because a clone would be biologically identical.
Yes. Unless
they put someone else's DNA in it.
I don't want to think about that.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we're probably getting too technical about it.
Yeah.
We can assume they're trying to make a little Scrooge baby. Or a baby, right? Something.
It would be a baby.
Unless they, like, do, like, enhanced aging, so it ages faster.
But then it would be too old if it's just not immortal.
I don't know. I mean, they wouldn't, like, make it, like, an adult. Maybe, or maybe they would. I don't fucking know.
True.
They took his feather for a reason. I assume because they need something about the rightful heir.
Yeah.
And this is definitely something that'll tie into, like, the overarching theme of legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the kids are currently, like, debating whether or not they're good enough to, I mean, pick up Scrooge's legacy in order to, like, if they're good enough to, you know, like
continue?
Yeah, like, continue his legacy, like...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like, what it means to be related to him, and...
Yeah,
like, how they can make, like, a mark for themselves, considering who he is. Yeah, I don't know, the theme of legacy, I think, will definitely play into this rightful heir business.
Yeah. It is the theme of our season.
Yes. Seems.
But yeah, so we go back and the kids are celebrating. They're so excited.
They just completed their first adventure that they are now kid adventurers.
And Donald says that is a great band name or a great solo act.
Yes. And Scrooge is back on the phone.
Yeah.
Talking with Beakley again.
Mm-hmm. You know, basically saying, yeah, like, we didn't get it, but neither did F.O.W.L. It's fine. Just come pick us up.
Yeah. And it seems at first like, maybe he didn't learn the lesson. Mm-hmm. But now, he basically, he's having his schedule cleared so that he can adventure with his heirs.
Oh.
We'll find that papyrus someday.
Yeah, we will! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! I mean, whatever.
Papyrus is gonna have to come back, I assume.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
And if it'll be Donald and Della again.
Mm-hmm.
Considering, like, Scrooge says to them, we'll find it one day.
Yeah.
Like, meaning, like, the three of them. I'd love to see... It's like Scrooge, and Donald, and Della in the present go on an adventure, like just them.
Yes.
I'd really like that, because that's apparently what they did for 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I'd really like to see that with, like, the current team.
Please. I want to see that.
Yeah, we haven't seen them go on an adventure, not in the present.
Mm-hmm. It would be a nice vehicle to get that interaction.
Yeah.
If we get another Scrooge, Dewey, and Webby team up, I'm going to lose my goddamn mind.
No.
But yeah. So we go back to the money bin.
Scrooge taped up the globe that Della broke.
Let's buy another one.
He's too cheap for that. We can assume it's however many days later.
Mm-hmm.
And he's back in the adventuring thing. He's going through a briefcase and, like, getting adventuring things out. He has like a telescope that he's messing around with. And as he's looking around his office, he lands on the door opening and Bradford stepping inside.
Yeah. And so he, like, invites him in, and he's talking about Bradford's resume, that it's, like, impressive because, you know, he was recommended by Beakley, and she doesn't trust anyone. But yeah, like, recommended?
Yeah, yes. Okay, my other biggest concern about the episode is that apparently Bradford is trusted by Beakley at this point. She recommended him.
Yeah.
So what the fuck does that mean?
Big.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? Is Beakley some sort of traitor?
That's what it feels
right?
like.
Like, what would compel her to trust Bradford, and then not only that, but recommend him to Scrooge?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to work for Scrooge.
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
I'm very concerned, especially, like, what we've seen of her kind of acting sketch.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
Yeah, Scrooge is hiring him as his CFO. because he's starting to adventure again. He needs someone to basically manage his company.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to be here for the daily running of my company, so I need you to do that.
And Scrooge is kind of like, he's very friendly.
He
which
is.
To me is funny because, do you remember when Fenton was getting hired?
Wait.
Like,
in
the original, in 87,
Fenton had no qualifications.
But still, he was he's like a very like no nonsense kind of business guy, and here he's like, he recognizes Bradford first of all, and Bradford's like sweating.
Yeah, first he panics because Scrooge is like, wait, don't I know you from somewhere? Yeah. And this drags on for a little too long for Bradford's liking. He's like, oh shit, I thought I wiped your memory. Oh shit. But then again, like before, Scrooge is like, "Oh, my Christmas party! That was ages ago, but how fantastic!" He's super friendly in love in present day. Prior to the betrayal, he's like, "Fucking hate my board of directors' guts. They suck."
That he's basically like, like, you're trustworthy. It's great. Like we're basically like, he calls them old kin. Like we know each other since a long time ago. It's fine. I need, he says that you're the perfect, like, the exact kind of stingy person that I need to run my company.
Yeah. I guess he needs someone, like, collected to, like, keep everything running while he goes off and does crazy shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's nothing like hiring Fenton in 87. I mean, one, Fenton had no qualifications.
True.
And he was acting very Looney Tunes.
But I think the gun is
Scrooge pulled out the blunderbuss because Fenton wouldn't leave. And Scrooge is too cheap to hire a bodyguard.
Yeah.
He has his 19th century blunderbuss. Thank you very much.
No, I won't go! You've gotta hire me! Give me a shark! You got it. 465! 465 what? Shotgun pellets! You counted them?
Was that one of the first episodes of DuckTales I ever watched?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
He was.
Iconic.
The first Fenton episodes.
Yeah.
So Scrooge trusts him. He trusts him, and he hires him right there as a CFO, and they shake hands, paralleling Bradford's teaming up with Heron back in the 60s.
Because it's gonna be the start of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah, but this is Bradford, like being proactive, because he's been like stuck in the shadow of Shush, and here he's like, okay, I'm gonna be able to use Scrooge's resources and act much more openly while keeping an eye on Scrooge, who is now my main source of chaos.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm seeing how short ass Scrooge is. He's standing on the chair. Yeah.
And now I'm just wondering who the fuck those other buzzards are.
Exactly.
The other members of the board of director who are also the other shadowy figureheads of F.O.W.L. They don't fucking speak.
I don't think they're real.
I mean, they're there. I mean,
yeah.
But whenever they do speak, they speak like in a huddle with Mark Evan Jackson's voice. So, clones or robots?
Yeah, like I don't think they're like part of the plan. I don't think. Well, they're part of the plan, but I don't think they're like they're not people.
Yeah, they're not independent. Like they can't turn on Bradford or anything.
No,
because whenever we see besides that reveal of them being the shadowy figureheads, Bradford is the one doing everything.
Yeah. So far, like we have no mention at all about anyone else.
I'm gonna assume they're clones.
Yeah.
Especially since they got the feather, and if they're gonna clone Scrooge potentially. They already have some cloning expertise. But yeah, I mean that was the episode. Raises a lot of questions, I think.
Oh yeah. Once again, a lot about Beakley.
Making me very concerned about what she has been and is up to.
Yeah.
I think right now we're thinking some sort of traitor.
I think so, yeah.
To F.O.W.L.
Mm-hmm. Like something must have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suspicious. I mean, yeah, especially if it's this far back, it wouldn't... I mean, it could have something to do with her daughter's son, whoever is Webby's parent.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, how far back does this go?
Yeah.
Because a double agent can, like, decades, years, weeks, like, you know?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah. The implications are troubling.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, I'm very excited to see how they pay off.
Yeah, same.
Any last minute thoughts before we get into questions?
No, that was it.
Cool. Alrighty, we can do some Twitter questions first. Let's see, from Turtle Duck Dog 1. How do you feel about only getting a note from Hortense and not actually getting to see her on screen? Do you think she or Quackmore could still show up, or was that it? Also, what is the history of Eat the Rich?
Oh.
We can cover that first. Eat the Rich.
Yeah. Eat the Rich. Well, I don't even know.
I don't know where it's from.
Yeah, but it's a very much like a anti-capitalistic slogan.
Yeah, like anti-billionaires and their intense accumulation of wealth.
Yeah. And I literally have Eat the Rich sticker on my phone. Soup made it. It's Scrooge. He's like a duck dinner.
It's like a roasted Scrooge prepared for someone to eat.
Yeah, Eat the Rich.
So how do you feel about not seeing Hortense?
I think, I don't know, would have been worse to have heard her voice, like, you know, like a narration, and not have seen her?
Worse.
Or would you have liked to, yeah, that would have been worse, huh?
Yes.
I don't know, how do you feel?
I mean, I definitely want to see her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because we only have so many episodes left. I'm thinking if we do get a... It would have to be an episode that's at least partly centered on Donald and Della. And
that's what I was thinking, like, if we make it, like, the continuation of looking for, you know, this artifact.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, like, again, like, Donald, Scrooge, and Della, then maybe that could be, like, a good opening for that to come up. Because, yeah, we've kind of had them, like, before their parents' death and, like, after their parents' death.
After.
You know?
Yeah, but what's the point where young Donald doesn't want to adventure with Della anymore for that brief period in Last Christmas.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hope we see them. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I'd really like to see them. I mean, this was already like all right, we're getting Della in animation. We got Matilda McDuck in animation. Who else can we get?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd really like to see Hortense again. Just again, we don't know what episodes are coming out yet. So
yeah.
If someone's listening to this in the future time when we know all the titles already, we might seem real dumb or real smart.
Yeah. We might got a hole in one. We got it all.
Yes.
But yeah.
Let's see. From XGSA2, do you think Scrooge constantly carries like $500,000 in cash and gold everywhere he goes?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got like extra big pockets for all his change. I bet he jingles when he walks.
Oh my god, can you imagine? It's so fucking annoying.
I'm gonna body slam Scrooge and take his coins.
Pick up the money and run.
Run. But yeah.
Another Hortense question. From Aaron Tarpey. Did you guys think we'd get more Hortense in this episode? Given that the series is ending, do you think we'll get her in the future?
No. Everyone wants Hortense.
I know! I did think we'd see her at least briefly. For like a little cameo. Like we'd see her.
Yeah.
Dropping the kids off.
Yeah, like I also thought we would see like the drop-off scene.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean the note itself is obviously a reference. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, I assume just because we've seen literally every other member of Scrooge's family that we will see Hortense, because her name being dropped and along with all the other like small references in the episode felt like something that could lead to something bigger. Mm-hmm. Like the kids, like Donald and Della's presence in Scrooge's life becoming obviously a permanent fixture. But
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like I said, we've seen every other member of Scrooge's family, so I do have hope.
Yeah. I don't know how I would feel if we do get to see Benzino, but not Hortense.
The next question is about Benzino. Are you psychic?
I am psychic.
Holy shit. This next question from Sexy Donut 666. Are you still, if ever, genuinely expecting Benzino? And how would you like him to appear? Pilot, race car driver, playboy, or pizza enthusiast?
Oh, I mean, I kind of always assume pilot, especially now since we got from Frank that there will be a lot of pilots showing up.
Yes, and I assume the Tailspin episode.
Yeah.
So I have hope for that episode. Yeah, I feel like pilot is the only conceivable way, or like on the TV, he'll be a race car driver on in a quick 2-second thing.
Yeah, or like downtown, we see like a pizza like parlor, and
yes,
it's him,
and it's the competition to Papa Swan's.
Yeah.
What's another Domino's? It would be Benzino's instead of Domino's.
Benzino's, yeah. Oh, that's not as fun, but still, we know. I mean, yeah. We hope.
I'm holding out hope. Captain Foghorn had two appearances in DuckTales, and he showed up here. Benzino has just as much right to show up.
Yes, he needs to show up and give us this classic catchphrase.
It's me.
I will say, y'all are lovely and like give us fan art sometimes for stupid things. And we have gotten like a surprising amount of Benzino fan art. Like,
it's amazing. Thank you for humoring whatever the fuck this is. My undying, unswerving devotion for Benzino Gasolini.
I think one of the one I always think about is Peanut Duck.
Yeah.
A Peanut Doodles Peanuts, I forgot. But it's you crying over wanting to Benzino.
Yeah, a photo of Benzino. When will he come back?
When will he come back from the war?
Oh boy. Okay. From Crying Drama 32. This is obviously coming back with the whole true heir and how the Scrooge clone theory will be with F.O.W.L. Do you think that maybe there'll be an internal fight over who is the true heir?
Oh.
I think so. Especially if the kids are involved. Mm-hmm. Which I feel like it could easily be extended to include the kids since they're the next generation.
Yeah.
And they've had issues about like Scrooge wanting Scrooge's approval and how they feel about being in his shadow. So I think they could have like some sort of, I mean, we've already had like a competition thing.
Yeah.
With the New Gods episode, but like them competing against each other in some sort of adventure to prove themselves as the true heir to Scrooge McDuck. Mm-hmm. Since Scrooge is since Scrooge McDuck has so much like there's a big to-do about Scrooge McDuck being this fantastic adventurer and this unstoppable hero and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he's perceived, by the kids especially. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I think. What do you think? If it's extended to the kids, that they'll want to show each other up?
For sure. I think that would, like, lead to, like, a good conflict. Mm-hmm. I think a fun thing would be to then, like, focus maybe on the kids thinking that, you know, they would be the heirs, but then still bring it back to Donald and Della.
Yeah.
You know? I think that would be a fun thing to explore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be a good way to get the legacy tied through the whole season.
Yes. I assume it's going to have to come back.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And if we not, we look like dumbasses.
I know. For reading too much into the plot.
too much into duck cartoons.
That's our job. That's the job we have given ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. From Fandom Geek 2323. How did Donald and Della come to live with him permanently? Because I don't think Hortense and her husband would leave the twins with Scrooge for too long, even with how much trouble they cause. P.S. I love the podcast.
Oh,
thank you so much.
Thank you. They died. They died.
Yeah, their parents are dead.
Yeah, their parents are dead.
They're dead. I mean, yeah, that's why we don't see them in the present. Because we see Matilda, she's still kicking and hanging out at her parents' house.
Yeah.
And Hortense is not mentioned, so she is no longer with us. From the, let's see, Real Arshia. Should Disney start a spin-off series based on the Young Duck twins' adventures with their uncle, with this episode being the pilot?
We got a similar question on Tumblr. So, yeah, about it being a backdoor pilot for a series starting Donald, Della, and Scrooge. That would be so cute.
That'd be cute.
I would love that.
I don't think so.
No.
But that'd be cute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I'd like to see more of how his relationship with Donald and Della is different from how it is with the rest of the kids.
Yeah. It would be so fun to explore that, but yeah. I don't think, we can hope.
For more DuckTales.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that is the... Let me double check. Wait, no, never mind. One more Twitter question from Monkey Boy 1138. Not so much a question, more an observation. But how much like Dewey is young Della in this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
But there's also a little Louie in there, and it's fun to see like little aspects. But yeah, like jumping.
Yeah, just jumping into this fathomless pit. Like, no. A very Dewey move.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have some Tumblr questions.
Alrighty.
We have a question from an author who asks, what do you think F.O.W.L's master plan is?
Oh shit. I don't know. I assume... something with the feather. Cloning Scrooge, something with the feather to produce what they think is the one true heir.
Yeah.
To get the papyrus scroll, and Bradford here wants to get rid of it, but maybe he would want to. Maybe even still get rid of it, because it'll come back at some point, and he wants to be the one to have it. Mm-hmm. He could use it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if he's somehow learned how to word the perfect thing that would give him the most power without any negative repercussions. That could also be it.
Because so he has all the missing mysteries, potentially to destroy them.
Yeah, and so he could write something on the papyrus that would destroy all of the items and people. There's some people in there.
Yeah, we have the genie and the Harper Ravana, who are sentient beings.
Yeah.
He could just wish for Scrooge to cease
Drop
to
dead.
exist. Drop dead. His plan is to steal the world, so he wants to be able to control everything from the shadows, so that nobody knows he exists, so nobody knows to stop him. Mm-hmm. And right now, Scrooge and the family know he exists.
True.
So
he could hit a reset button.
Maybe. But even then, he doesn't want Scrooge to go back to doing what he was doing either.
True. He just wants Scrooge to go back to being his depressed self.
Or get rid of him altogether.
Yeah. There's so many possibilities.
I know, yeah. It's fun. Yeah, I just realized we still don't know what their fucking plan is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We know he has a plan, because Bradford's had 20 years as in hiding, working for Scrooge to plan this.
Yeah.
But we don't know what it is. That's fun.
Yeah. Okay. We have a question from Ensign77 who asks, you probably covered this already, but I have so many questions about the buzzards. Heron and Bradford funded F.O.W.L. Where do the other two come in? Did they help him come up with Owl? Are they brothers, triplets? Did Bradford one day call his brothers in, like, Alleluia Inc. and told them that they were taking over McDuck Industries in the world? Did they just say yes? I mean, I think we're Camp Clone.
Clones. They don't seem to have minds of their own.
No.
Their own sort of independence.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. They're very much like like a cardboard figure. Like, there's nothing there.
Yeah, because we see it's always Bradford calling the shots.
Mm-hmm. One last question from Anonymous. What do you want to call
Captain Yellowbeak?
Captain Yellowbeak asks, what do you hope they tie up before the series finale? Also, very proud my review made you realize you were on your 69th episode. I love that.
Thank you so much. You gave us a beautiful gift.
Yes.
And the review was nice too.
Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, what do you hope they tie up?
What do you want to tie up?
I mean, I don't know where I stand anymore on Huey's season.
I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah. But I guess, like, basically, I hope they help tie up something more with, like, Tarkwing and Gauze and Launchpad. Because I get how it could be, like, a backdoor pilot, but I think it would be...
But we don't know yet.
Yeah, but I also think it would be very, like, saddening if that's where it ends. You know, like, I see the potential for more. And obviously, like, in, like, the couple of episodes we have left, we might not be able to resolve everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to see something there, you know?
I mean, I imagine, the Darkwing Duck pilot, the original, Darkly Dawns ends with Drake adopting Goslin.
Yeah.
And also that hasn't happened yet because they're taking a slower approach about it, which is fair and makes a lot more sense here.
Yeah.
But I feel that in order to, like, really end the series with this family becoming a solid family, because at this point they still aren't, because she's still hoping to find her grandfather.
Yeah.
The Sligo Circuit was one of the missing mysteries that was taken, so we're gonna have to circle back to that.
Yeah.
And so I assume that'll be, if not the focus of an episode, it'll be at least one of the main focuses.
Mm-hmm.
Goslin coming to terms with her grandfather being gone, and, like, accepting a new family, where and ending with, like, Drake adopting her.
Yeah, that's what I hope we get to.
Yeah, and then, like, Launchpad becoming a more permanent fixture, since he's very integral to that family.
Yes, very, very integral.
Yes. And let's see, what else is going on? Obviously the F.O.W.L thing, whatever's gonna happen there.
Yeah. I guess for me, it's... I don't know it's so much as tie up because it hasn't been brought up. But something that I want to be addressed is just Donald and Della. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Please have some sort of, like, talk or interaction, if it's with Scrooge as well. Like, there's just a lot there that I guess, I don't know, it deserves to be brought up.
Because, we see them interacting a lot. Obviously, this whole episode is them interacting, but when Donald and Della are kids.
Yeah.
And, I really want to see them interacting again as adults. Because we haven't gotten all three of them really interacting. We haven't had that be the focus of an episode.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
Whatever Beakley's got up to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, obviously. Like, and that whole thing involves Webby as well.
Yes,
whatever Webby has going on.
Yeah. This, like, secret that Webby has no knowledge of.
Yeah. So there's a lot. It makes me really sentimental and emotional for what's coming next.
Yeah. Oh boy.
But we'll be here to overanalyze
every
episode.
Yep. Every episode of the what remains of DuckTales 2017 season 2.
Yeah.
Yep, I believe that is all for us. You can follow us on Twitter. That's where we're posting updates, and like this episode's coming out a bit later than they've been. When we post about when episodes will be a bit late. That's on Twitter at Amores Patos.
You can also find us on Tumblr at amorespatospodcast.tumblr.com.
You can send us questions at our Twitter or our Tumblr, or if you have neither of those, you can send them to our Gmail at amorespatospodcast@gmail.com.
You can also leave us a review.
Yes, leave us a review. We would love that, and we obviously will read it on the air. And you get to feel good about yourself, and we get to feel good about ourselves, and we're put higher up in the rankings.
Yes.
And thank Michael at Spintrick for our lovely cover art. And I believe that is all. Saludos, amigos.
Saludos, amigos.